Huawei might actually be cooking something crazy right now, because if these new leaks are real, the Kirin 9050 could become Huawei's biggest comeback ever. This whole Kirin 9050 story actually started from leaks posted by Tech Insider at SZSLG on X, and later multiple tech sites started talking about it too. Reports also mention claims from Yu Fangbo, an analyst from CITIC Securities. We're hearing that this chip might actually beat Apple's A18 Pro, MediaTek's Dimensity 9400, and even Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite. And honestly, that sounds almost impossible at first. But when you look deeper into what Huawei is trying to do, it starts making more sense. See, Huawei has been stuck for years because of sanctions. They can't easily get the newest EUV machines needed to make super advanced 3M or 2M chips like Apple and Qualcomm. That's been their biggest problem. Meanwhile, companies like Apple are already using super advanced manufacturing with TSMC, so normally Huawei should be far behind. Yet instead of waiting for permission or new machines, Huawei and SMIC might have found another way around the problem. And this is where things get interesting. The leak says the Kirin 9050 will use something called 3D stacking technology. Now, don't worry about the fancy name. The idea is actually simple. Normally, chips are built flat, side by side. Huawei is apparently stacking parts of the chip vertically, almost like building upward instead of outward. Think of it like this. If you can't make your room wider, you build another floor on top. That's basically what Huawei might be doing with this chip. By stacking components, they can fit more transistor power into the same space without needing the newest manufacturing process. And according to the leaks, this could improve performance by up to 56%. That is a huge number if true. And there's more. The Kirin 9050 is also rumored to hit speeds up to 3.4 GHz. Now, that may not sound massive to normal people, but for Huawei chips, this is a really big deal, because it would be the first Kirin processor to finally break past the 3 GHz mark. That means Huawei is no longer just trying to survive sanctions, they're trying to compete again. And honestly, that's what makes this story exciting. Because a few years ago, most people thought Huawei's chip division was basically finished. No access to advanced factories, no newest chip tools, no easy way to catch Apple or Qualcomm. Yet somehow, Huawei keeps coming back with new ideas. That's why this rumor is getting so much attention. Now, there's also something called logic folding design being mentioned. Again, simple explanation. Huawei is basically redesigning the internal layout of the chip to make everything tighter, faster, and more efficient. More performance, better transistor density, higher clock speeds, all without needing cutting-edge 3M production. That's honestly smart engineering if true. But now let's calm down a little, because leaks are still leaks. Right now, we do not know what tests were used to compare the Kirin 9050 against Apple's A18 Pro. That's very important, because benchmark numbers alone don't tell the full story. A chip can score insanely high numbers if it uses crazy amounts of power and gets super hot. But phones are not desktop computers. These chips have to run inside thin smartphones without overheating or killing battery life. That's the real challenge. And the leak says absolutely nothing about power consumption. That's the biggest missing piece here. Because even Samsung's rumored Exynos engineering samples have shown crazy performance in testing before, but real-world phones are a completely different situation. So even if the Kirin 9050 is powerful, the real question is, can it stay cool? Can it keep good battery life? Can it hold performance for long gaming sessions? Can Huawei mass produce it properly? Those questions matter more than raw benchmark numbers. Still though, you have to admit this comeback story is wild. Huawei went from being heavily restricted and almost counted out to now potentially making one of the fastest mobile chips in the world using creative engineering instead of brute force manufacturing. That's honestly impressive. And if this stacking technology really works well, it could become a huge moment for the Chinese semiconductor industry too, because instead of chasing the exact same path as TSMC and Apple, Huawei might be trying to invent a different route entirely, and that could change the industry more than people think. Now imagine this chip inside the Mate 90 series. If Huawei combines strong performance, better AI, good cameras, and solid battery life, the Mate 90 could become one of the most talked about Android phones when it launches, especially in China. But again, we need real testing first. Right now, this is still rumor territory. Big claims need big proof. And until we see real benchmarks, gaming tests, thermal results, and battery performance, we should stay a little careful. But one thing is clear, Huawei is definitely not giving up. And honestly, that alone makes the Kirin 9050 one of the most interesting smartphone chips to watch right now.